TV show, and I'm delighted you're still there. It wouldn't be much point if you weren't. The lure of life down under has always been strong for people from this country. For rugby league players, it's not just the lifestyle, but the prospect of playing alongside some of the best players in the world. Not to mention the handsome financial rewards. Sam Tomkins, of course, was persuaded to sign for the New Zealand Warriors by the former Wigan star Dean Bell, and he's not the only English player to join the Auckland-based club.
In the cavernous gym at New Zealand Warriors Mount Smart home is everything a professional rugby league player could wish for. From high-tech hyperbaric chamber to the must-have basics, it's all here. And it's just one of many reasons why a player like Sam Tomkins opted to join them, persuaded by another former Wigan star, Dean Bell.
Sam coming here is a big boost for us. I mean, we've never really sort of had those kind of big marquee players, as the Australians call it, marquee players. This will be our biggest signing. So I think that stays a lot from as far as where we're going as a club. You know, we're making a statement that we want the best players to come to New Zealand. It's always difficult getting the best Australian players to come here, come to New Zealand. You know, why move? Why move the family and, you know, to come to a place they don't know? They probably see the worst of New Zealand. They come over here in the middle of winter. They go through an industrial state to get Mount Smart Stadium, and it's probably drizzling in the winter and that. And they don't realise what a beautiful country it is. But the Australians that we have attracted, and we've attracted a couple of good ones this year as well, in Chad Townsend and Jason Bakuya, they get here and they love it. And they think, oh, I didn't realise New Zealand was like that.
Sam isn't the only Brit to move to pastures Antipodean. Jordan Baldwinson left Leeds Rhinos to join the Warriors under-20 side. A big decision to wrestle with, but a chance to hone his skills with and against some of the world's best players.
When Dean actually rang me, I thought, wow, this is on this, and I thought, you know, what an amazing opportunity, you know, especially to play in the NRL, because that's where you want to be, you know. If you want to be a top player and you want to be a top athlete and a top league player, you know, you want to play in the NRL, because that's where all the world's top players are. And if you strive and aspire to be a top player, then this is where you've got to be.
And to do it without establishing yourself in Super League first, yeah. I mean, that's a different way around. Not many, in fact, probably no players do it that way.
Yeah, it's very different, because if you take, like for example, Burgess boys, Sam Burgess was quite well. He played for Great Britain. He was played Super League regular. On the other hand, I've only played 2 games for Leeds, and, you know, I'm quite inexperienced. I'm not really, you know, I haven't had many Super League games under my belt. But I think I'm going to take it one step at a time. You know, I'm gonna play 20s and see what I can do in the 20s. Hopefully, I can do good, and I can show to my coaching staff that I'm ready to play reserve grade, and then make that step to reserves. And then if I play reserves grade, hopefully I can get a shot at playing in NRL.
Jordan's the next Great Britain under 18 captain, so you know he comes with a lot of quality. I mean, coming through the league system, you'd expect that anyway. He played his first game last weekend. He looks really good. I know the coaching staff, Matthew Elliott, the head coach, was pretty impressed with him.
The charms of Auckland and of Sydney are tempting enough, but couple that with the earning potential in the NRL, then it's easy to see why players based in Europe are succumbing to the temptations of the former colonies. Maybe
the financial rewards aren't there like they used to be in the UK. The game in Australia and New Zealand is just getting bigger. The NRL is just expanding and gaining more profile, and it's just becoming a huge entity in its own right. But I suppose also, you know, you look at recent successes, Adrian Morley, Sam Burgess doing so well. That's what the players are looking at. They're looking at, you know, how well those guys are doing and making a name for themselves in a real tough competition.
The Burgess brothers have been a big hit in Australia, and no doubt more will follow. The question is, if the trickle turns into a flood of players onto the beaches down under, is there anything the British game can do to hold back the tide?
So it sounds like young Jordan is enjoying it down there in Auckland with the Warriors. Someone else who should also be enjoying life in New Zealand is Sam Tomkins, and it's time for us to catch up with him again right now. Sam, we have left you alone for a fortnight or so, and it looks like it's worked. 2 wins in a row, and history at the weekend, the first ever win in Wellington against the West Tigers too, who've been going so well. We'll talk about the wins in a moment, but first of all, what's your take on young Jordan Baldwinson? How's he going?
He's going really well. I spent a little bit of time training with him during the pre-season. and then he went back to the reserve side, and they come up and train with us once or twice a week as well. So I see quite a bit of him on the training field, but we're looking at all of our games. There's 2 warm-up games before it, and Jordan's featured in all of those so far. So I've seen quite a lot of him play as well, and I've been really impressed. He's a big lad, but he's pretty athletic as well. And I know that speaking to the coaches over here, they're really impressed with him too so far.
That's good news. And we've got Barry McDermott in the studio here. He's been listening to that with interest, and the feature we just had seen on the programme. So give him Barry's best wishes as well for us, would you? The other thing I want to talk to you about is the current form. Started with 2 defeats, but 2 wins in a row, a try for Tompkins-esque, and things seem to be going well.
Yeah, it does. As soon as I stop speaking to you, we've got a couple of wins. So we'll probably get beat up off Sharks on Saturday. But no, it's been good. It's not great, starting with 2 losses. But we weren't a million miles off. It was just little things needed changing, and we went up to North Queensland, and it was the toughest conditions I've ever had to play in. It was really red hot, and it was humid. As soon as you get off the plane there, everybody's sweating, and it's not a nice environment. So it was good to get a sort of a tough grinding win out there, and then playing against West Tigers down in Wellington this weekend just gone was a bit a real game of 2 halves. I think first half we were not at our best, but we were competing and managed to get a try just before half time, meaning we were leading by 2 points at the break. But second half we came out and really clicked and played as we wanted, and we blew them away second half. So it was good, and hopefully that form will carry on over the next few weeks.
Absolutely, you must be relieved to get a couple of wins under your belt, and you personally as well. I mean, they've been peppering you with high bombs, haven't they? Your reputation certainly went before you, but you're finding your feet. You're settling in nicely. Everything's going okay, yeah?
Yeah. It's not been easy. It's certainly not disappointed with the how tough it's been, and I've made a few uncharacteristic errors in my first few games as well, which has made it all a lot more fun. So I've been trying to get those out of the game and sort of get into the rhythm of playing, the sort of rugby that I want to be playing. But I think attack wise, it's going all right, and I've got a couple of tries and that. But they put all fullbacks under a lot of pressure here, and I've got to stand up and be a little bit better under the eyeball.
Well, Sam, for goodness sake, you play Cronulla Sharks this weekend. You've had 2 wins, you haven't spoken to us. For goodness sake, don't go and lose this one, otherwise you'll never talk to us again.
I'm sure we'll do our best, but if we do lose, you will be getting the blame.
Fair enough, we'll take it on the chin. Sam, great to talk to you, lovely to see you. Keep it going, we'll talk to you soon.
Will do. See you soon, guys.
There you go, Sam Tompkins from New Zealand. And Barry, alongside Jordan Baldwinson, who you know very well, of course, from his days at Leeds Rhinos. Sam and Jordan in the same club, the Burgess brothers in the same club. I mean, I know Sam and Jordan aren't related, but is it sort of a scholarship in many ways for Jordan Baldwinson
I think
he's going
sure,
through at the minute?
Yeah, and his mum and dad are the biggest Leeds Rhinos fans in the world, and they were, probably had mixed emotions when he left these shores to go and learn, what it takes to make it in the NRL. Whether he makes it or not, I think only time will tell. It certainly won't be because he hasn't tried hard enough, because that's the hallmark of Jordan Baldwinson. Of course, I've said on many occasions, I like to see British players playing the British game. I do. I want to see Super League flooded with young British talent. But if a young man takes it upon himself, he gets the advice that the opportunity is available to him, and he backs himself and he goes, then good on him. I think, the difference between 10, 20, 30 years ago is the world must seem like a smaller place because of satellite TV, because of the internet, because of social media. A young player from the under-19s in Widnes can talk to Sam Burgess, Sam Tompkins, James Graham over in Australia.
Absolutely it is, and he should come back a better player, shouldn't he?
Well, that's if he decides to come back. He might enjoy his time out there. And
how old is he, Barry, by the way?
He's still eligible to play under 19, so in his last year, so probably 18.
It's a huge gamble for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge gamble. He's a huge man, and hey, gamble or not, the game is full of challenges. So if he's gone out there to challenge himself in the reserve competition over in the NRL, good luck to the lad. And let's hope that if he does come back, he is a better player, goes back to Leeds Rhinos. But I'm sure Sam Tompkins and a number of other players, like Thomas Lilleway, will talk positively about the time in England as well as in the NRL, because they've all played over in Super League. They see it as a brilliant sport, but some of the youngsters just might want a different change in lifestyle, and it's not about the two different competitions. And sometimes I think players and everyone around the British game gets a bit confused saying everyone wants to go over there. That is not the case. There's still players
Ryan Hall is the proof of that.
Ryan Hall, James Roby, Lou McCarthy. There's people that have been targeted over here that are quite happy staying over here, playing in Super League, because that's what they value. And do you know what? I just wish Sam Tompkins would get up a bit earlier, change, pick out something better to wear, and I hope he brushed his teeth though.
Well, he might probably say the same about you. I'm just thinking about Jordan still, and you know the Warriors. For 19 years since they came into the competition down there, their strength has been in the forwards. They've had a huge forward pack. Apparently they've had a crisis meeting over those 2 defeats at the start. You know, they all got together and said, we're going to have to scrub up, fellas. We're going to have to do better than this. That's the next step for him. It was a big enough step going to New Zealand. Now he's in the reserve grade. The next step is like crossing the Giant's Causeway, isn't it?
Again, for Baldy, all I can do is talk about the man, the measure of the man. He certainly trains hard. He studies his own game, and you know the software that's available to players these days. They can go through their own game with a fine-tooth comb. He'll also have players up in that top grade who he can look to, who he can perhaps talk with on a one-on-one basis. Dean Bell knows the mentality of a British player, having made his name as a Wigan player in his time, and of course going back. And I can remember in the advent of the Auckland Warriors, as they were then, didn't Dennis Betts and Andy Platt playing in, if not the first game, then the first couple of games. So the club has a history of nurturing and embracing the British mentality, and I think we warm to the Kiwis. It's well known that we warm to the Kiwis, and the Kiwis settle here as well.
You talk to some of the coaches who are now coaching in the Super League who come from Australia, and they talk about the British forwards, and they say that the NRL loves the way the British forwards play because they're big, they're tough, they do long minutes, they're everything that they seem to want with the competition. So they get the job description, they take it forward, and it's very interesting if you look at the likes of the Burgess boys, the 4 of them, the 2 twins, and Luke and Sam doing an amazing job.
Yes, they are, and all the best to Baldy. Go on, to Baldy.
I thought that was just me.
Okay, right. Let's bring you